Hey everybody, I'm here with Hannah Gardner. How you doing, Hannah?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for being on my channel. I wanted to have you on as the co-founder of ProfitTree because I've been talking about ProfitTree for a bunch of videos now, and I've been just doing the product research, and I know that it does so much more than that. So I wanted to have you on who knows everything about ProfitTree and kind of explain to my subscribers like everything that they're getting and kind of the benefits of having ProfitTree with print on demand. Is that cool?
Yes, 100%. Whatever questions you have, I am here to answer them.
All right, this is going to be great. So I have the first question, I think, that I want is, can you tell us who you are and how you came up with Profit Tree, kind of your origin story and how this all came to be?
Yeah, so I was just like serial entrepreneur, wanted to start a business, and I learned about e-commerce, right? I unfortunately didn't learn about print on demand and like digital downloads until I was very much already invested in handmade businesses. But nonetheless, one of our biggest pain points with our Etsy shops, my first company was a fast fashion jewelry company, and then I actually started a second home decor company with my dad, and actually, my sister's involved, my stepmom's involved in that one. It's like family business. But yeah, basically with our businesses, we have a lot of inventory, right? In print on demand, you don't hold inventory, but it's the same tracking applies to print on demand that it does in handmade. Where basically, you're making all these sales all day, you have fees and transactions happening all day long, and there was no solution at the time that would show your actual profit. So your profit after all of your marketing expenses, your Etsy selling fees, your costs, there was no way to
Mhm.
see that information on not only the shop level but on the individual product level. And basically, this is a tool that I was paying for on Shopify, and yeah, I wanted it for my Etsy shop, and there wasn't one that it existed. And so ProfitTree in its first version was basically a profit tracking solution only. But backing up to more so before we even got to ProfitTree, right? Yeah, I was just serial entrepreneur living in my grandma's spare bedroom. So like I was like out of college, didn't want to get a real job, and I was just like, oh, I just want to start a business. What can I do that I can work for myself? And yeah, I stumbled upon Etsy after basically failing for 2 years trying to grow a social media marketing agency. So I was like more in the agency world, trying to get clients and stuff like that, and just hated it so much. Like I just didn't know how to do it properly. I was saying
Mhm.
like making all the amateur mistakes, saying yes to everybody, getting all different types of clients that were not the same. So they had different sets of problems. And one of my clients had a Shopify Etsy hybrid store. And it was in that working with that client that I learned about Etsy and, how much easier it was than anything else that I had done. So Shopify, Amazon, any other platform really. Etsy is really like, e-commerce for beginners, I would say. It's like
Mhm.
it's like freshman year of e-com. Like if you're trying to get into e-commerce, like it's pretty much the easiest platform. And I've tried Wayfair, Walmart, Amazon, Shopify,
Wow.
pretty much all of them. And still to this day, I still haven't seen a better platform that serves you like Etsy does, right? And I will
Mhm.
take that to my grave until that changes. But so yeah, I was working with that client that I learned about Etsy, and then I was so burnt out by doing client work and not really understanding how to run an agency properly. So it wasn't like that agencies failed. It's just like I failed at it because I didn't know how to like position myself properly in the market. And so yeah, I opened up my first shop, and it was like on the back end of all of that education that I had from like working with other people's businesses that like we were pretty successful pretty fast. And people, so they know me from my YouTube channel. I was at the time there was only like a handful of YouTubers, and
Mhm.
I started openly sharing my numbers online, and of course you get some backlash, but then you also help a lot of people,
Yeah.
because yeah, like it was just at the time that wasn't really a thing that people were doing, like sharing numbers and real metrics and data and like your costs and stuff like that transparently. So my channel grew pretty fast back in the day.
Mhm.
And then yeah, and then when you start going down the YouTube path, it's like you can sell education, you can sell, that's how you monetize on YouTube, right? By selling
Mhm.
your own products, basically. And yeah, so basically, I wanted to build something else not in the education space. I just felt, I don't know, like there's nothing wrong with it, but I just didn't really want to do education because I felt like I was already doing education on my YouTube
Mhm.
channel for free. And so I did sell a course for a little bit, but I never really promoted it or anything. And so, yeah, I started ProfitTree, and this has been like a 2-year journey.
Wow.
It's like probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life for sure. But yeah, that's how it came to fruition. And yeah, the first version, it kind of even failed a little bit
Oh.
because profit tracking it's like it's like what you actually need to grow a business. Like
Mhm.
truly, like you need to understand your numbers to grow. But it's still like for a lot of sellers and a lot of people on YouTube, it was still too advanced. And it's an amazing feature that we have that no one else has. And now I understand why no one else has it, because it's really, really hard to do what we did. Like
Mhm.
there's so much variables when it comes into profit tracking that people don't even, well, we didn't even know until we just started. And so that's why we started building more beginner friendly features. So we have like product research tools, our Etsy radar and our product finder tool, and an ads optimization tool. And this in the next quarter, we're coming out with competitor tracking, shop tracking, and listing
Wow.
tracking.
Cool.
So we have a lot of stuff coming, but yeah,
Wow.
but it was like we had to close the gap because profit tracking was like you don't, there's no reason for you to do profit tracking if you are, like haven't even made a profit yet. So now
Mm. Mhm.
we have features that are actually serving Etsy sellers like for where like most people are at, because in the beginning of the journey they're just trying to get their first 100 sales, understandably so, like we all were, right? And
Mhm.
that's the most painful part of the journey, right? And so we wanted to focus on those pain points basically.
That's awesome. I like that story. Yeah. So you kind of like made it for yourself because there was nothing out there. So then you made it,
Yeah.
and I love those stories because it like you used it, and so you knew how it worked, and then you had friends that did it and everything. And I like, well, I did Etsy a bunch before, and I ran into the same thing. Like, how much money am I actually making? Because I'm getting these sales, but all the fees and all this stuff, and like I had no idea. So yeah, I think that is a
Yeah.
main pain point. I wanted to talk about for my second question. You mentioned like in the beginning, I'm talking about product research and things, and that's what I show on my videos. But there's a lot more that goes into this $67 lifetime deal that you have with ProfitTree. Can you explain kind of what they have? Because I I kind of I talk about it a little bit, but I want my subscribers to kind of know exactly what they're getting for that.
Yes, yes, definitely. Let me just I can share my screen
Yeah,
here.
perfect. Good.
Cool.
This would be awesome.
Is it already sharing?
Nope, it's sharing now though.
Oh, it's sharing now? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So yeah, we have a $67 lifetime offer.
Yes.
This is, so full transparency, this account that I have here, this test account here, this is on a full access account. So I'm going to
Oh, okay.
explain step by
The
step
difference.
the
Okay.
difference,
That's
right?
perfect.
So we have two features that came out that basically, our goal was like to meet or beat every single thing on the market, right? On price
Hmm.
point, on the metrics we share,
Hmm.
and yeah, just the value that we provide. And right. And so
Awesome.
like in the beginning, Etsy sellers, it's like you're not making a bunch of money. So it's like we have to make this like the most affordable possible for the market. So it's
Right.
and it's like lifetime. So it's like you don't have to pay all these monthly
Don't worry
subscriptions. Like
about it. Yeah.
and you actually
One time payment, right?
one-time payment. So
Yeah.
again, this is a regular pro subscription. So this has
Okay.
unlimited access, but on a lifetime account, how this would reflect is you basically have these first two features you get, right? Are the Etsy Radar and the Product Finder,
Yeah.
which
And I've
is
been showing that on my channel, by the way. Sorry to interrupt, but those
no,
are good. I
no.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. No, that's amazing. We love you. Please share as much as you want. And so, yeah, basically, you get unlimited searches on this. So basically, I
Hmm.
typed in a word Christmas. And so basically, what it's going to do is it's going to search. Obviously, you could type in something more specific like Christmas shirt or something,
Okay. Yeah.
and it's going to find all the top listings on
Uh,
Etsy that have the keyword Christmas shirt or Christmas or whatever in your title, right? So it's going to find that product analysis. Now, on the lifetime plan, you'll see a little badge here that would ask you to upgrade, but that's
uh-huh.
just because we hide visibility score and then
Okay.
also conversion rate.
Okay.
So we hide two metrics, but everything else you still get.
Right.
So So basically you get all metrics: monthly revenue, monthly sales, yeah, obviously price, the rating, total reviews, bestseller badge, right? All the other things except for visitability score and conversion rate. And so if you come over to our filter here, you can
Nice.
actually filter by bestsellers. Like if you wanted
Yeah.
to only analyze bestsellers, right? You could filter it by the monthly sales, right? Like if you have a month,
Hmm.
like say you are thinking about opening up a shirt store and you want to get 100 sales per month or something like that, you can come up here and filter it on only see listings that have a minimum a minimum amount of monthly sales
Oh,
right
nice.
here,
Yeah.
right? So you can just be filtering. You can also do one tactic that people like to do a lot is they like to, filter by the listing age.
Oh, nice.
So like if you want the shop
Like a
age or
newer one or an older one, something like
Mhm.
that, right?
Right.
Okay.
So like if you only want to see, let's say, listings that are, or I'm sorry, the max is 6 months old,
6 months.
right? And then like
So there are
the
newer shops that are getting lots of sales, right? That's kind of what it's.
yes, like new listings. So like listing that
Oh,
is
new
less,
listings, right?
like the max age is 6 months old, and the minimum amount of, let's say, minimum amount of revenue is $4,000, right? So you only want
Wow.
to see
Okay.
products that basically are young, but they are doing at least 4 grand a month on just
Yeah.
one listing, right? So then you can
So,
utilize filters like that. Or go ahead, what were you saying?
well, I was thinking basically these are the ones that are trending then, right? Kind of
Yeah,
almost like a
exactly.
trend, right? Yeah.
100%, right?
Yeah.
So, right. So you want to know, yeah, because they're
They're
young
young.
list,
People are buying them. Yeah.
100%. So like this one, for instance, right, $8,000, and the age here is the shop age here. Do I have a customized? Oh, I have the listing age
Oh, yeah.
undone.
So you can customize. So you can just make the columns that you want to see, right? And
Right,
in here, that's so
exactly.
cool. That's so cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes when you see little dashes like this, it's because
Uh-huh.
we haven't yet found the data. And
Oh,
so
okay.
the difference between Product Finder and Etsy Radar is that Product Finder is pulling from our internal database of products. So
Oh,
we're basically based off your search, right? We're pulling in aggregating data from Etsy, right? Whereas
wow.
Etsy Radar is actually you can search on the actual Etsy platform. So it's our Chrome
Okay.
extension version. So basically,
Wow. Oh, there it
I typed
is.
in Christmas shirt, right? And
Yep.
so
Yep.
you can then see some high level data here right on
Oh,
Etsy,
nice. Right
right
there.
here, or you can do it from Etsy Radar here, and it will actually sort the page for you in that search. And again, the only thing that's hidden for lifetime is the listing age conversion rate, but everything else is accessible to you.
Yeah.
One little hack here for right now in Etsy Radar.
Uh-huh.
Um, we don't have a filter option, but we are adding filter options. But one little
Okay.
hack that I like to show people is you can
Okay.
actually use Etsy's filter. So if you were
Oh,
in a
nice.
yeah, so like if you're in a like if you only want to see Europe, which is like very common, like if you're in the Europe market, you only want to see Europe, you could
Mhm.
utilize that filter. If you want to sort it by bestseller only, so a little hack here, you can sort the page by star seller, and then you can take out the word star and put the word best in the
Oh,
URL.
cool. Nice. You're showing us the hacks.
That
How
little
to,
hack here.
yeah.
And so when you do that, it will sort the page by the badges, the listings with badges at the top. And then
Yeah.
basically you can sort it and then look at the data from basically this direction.
Wow.
That's just like a little hack until we actually have a little
Yeah.
filter
It
there.
works. It works.
But yeah, so super valuable data on this and this on this page alone between basically this little icon here and the data here.
Mhm.
But then we also give you more metrics if you actually click into the listing. So now we're actually aggregating more data underneath the actual listing here and
Wow.
and on the actual shop. So if you go to the shop, if it will let me, I don't know why you can't go to I guess you have to click it through here now. Yeah, so it will also aggregate data here as well on the shop
Oh, so this is shop level
level.
data, right?
Shop level data. Yep, correct.
Wow. That's
Correct.
really cool.
So,
Okay.
and then eventually, like I said, before the end of the year, we're going to have tracking features where, say, this is your main competitor, you could hit a little tracking button, and then you can start tracking your competitors,
Wow.
sales,
It's pretty
reviews, stuff like
crazy.
that compared to yours. So just those two features alone,
Yeah.
Etsy
Just
Radar and
that. It's
product,
worth it.
Yeah, that's like what we put in our mind is like 67 bucks. Like you would have to pay a minimum of $30 a month for
A
just,
month.
just for something
Yeah.
like this, but we're
Yeah.
giving it to you for 67. But that's not, we also are doing additional features that no one else has. So additionally, this is going to include 30 days. So you'll be able to use these presets for 30 days, 7 days, yesterday and today,
Nice.
and month to date, for the lifetime offer. So it's a limited
Wow.
calendar access, but you do get some profit tracking, because again, profit tracking is a little bit more advanced. It's something
Hmm.
that once you start making money, you're going to want to utilize,
Hmm.
right? And profit tracking is super important in terms of, especially, you basically should not run ads on Etsy if you don't know your profit.
Right.
And so, yeah, so once you start running ads, it's very important that you start tracking your profit, and tracking this metric here, which is that ad cost percentage, right? And making sure that that stays as low as possible.
Okay.
So that's included, as well as same thing with our advertisement tab, which
Oh, okay.
our advertisement tab is also 30 days. So you get like a 30-day calendar window. And this
Wow.
this is even more advanced, I would say, than profit tracking.
Okay.
But basically, the lifetime deal gives you an entire free Etsy ads masterclass included in the purchase.
Really?
So
Whoa.
if you don't know how to run ads, or if you've never run ads before, we don't actually even recommend that you touch ads until you actually
Get a lot of sales. Get some sales under
get some
you.
get some sales, but like don't even touch ads until you understand your profit,
Right. Right.
and you know how to run them. Because if you don't know how to
Yeah.
run them, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
You could
not.
be blowing money away, right? You could be spending more than you're making, kind of thing.
Exactly. And so we give you the education that comes with this, and like actually how to use this, like what does all these,
Yeah.
scary numbers mean. But
It is
so
kind of intimidating. Yeah.
exactly, right? But at the very least, when it comes to like actually doing your product research and stuff like that, yeah, that's where Product Finder and Etsy Radar really shine, because they're, yeah, it's just a kind of a no-brainer. $67 for all your product research needs,
Hmm.
basically. And it only can get better. So we don't promise in the lifetime deal that we're going to give every new feature that we launch included, but we
Right.
would we would never take things away, right? We would
Okay.
only we would only add to, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So what it seems like is the $67 lifetime deal has the things that you've shown. And it's everything that a new Etsy seller would need. The only time you might need some of the extra stuff is when you start making, you know, like really having it going, right? And
Yeah, like
yeah,
basically at that time, like say, a year later or whatever, you want to upgrade or something, you can do that. You can upgrade whatever you want.
yeah.
Because there's also like, yeah, like something that's not included at all is like the product and the listing reports. Because
Okay.
this is like when you start getting into your individual variation options, and you're starting to track profitability on each
Each,
individual
oh, I see.
product. So like each product you have, or on the listing level. So like your listings are made up of variation options, right? And so like a really good example is like, okay, so on the listing level, like if we click on, let's find one that's
Yeah.
sold, so something like this. So this has 26 sales in the last month,
Okay.
right? But
Yeah.
this one variation option, oh, it's the 18 variation option, is making, you know,
Oh,
m-
I see.
like the majority of the sales, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
like, so then you can start optimizing your listings based off of what actual variation option is actually selling the most,
Okay, so does that
right?
mean like color, like if a certain color's getting a lot more sales, maybe you change that to be the mock-up or some stuff like that, or
Yes,
okay,
1000%. So like in this
okay,
case, it's 18, right? It's a size, it's not a color,
okay,
but
okay.
right, 18 and 20 are crushing it, and then a 13 by 19 size, it's a pillow, right?
Yeah,
Example.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, so then it's like, okay, if 18 by 18 is the most purchased one, right? Then maybe, you have like in your main image, there's a sizing thing that says 18. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe not for your main image, but yeah, but your example is actually better than mine that I just gave. So color would be a better example of that,
Yeah,
right?
I'm always thinking t-shirt, so
Yeah.
oh, t-shirt.
Yes, exactly. Mock-ups,
Yeah.
or even just like data on like on the listing level. Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of times, the product that we sell the most actually isn't the most profitable. And
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah,
then
that's right.
and then we chase a North Star that's actually flawed. So it's like we just do like a vanity metric like sales. Not that sales aren't
Yeah, but
then
it's not
beneficial.
everything, right? Yeah,
Right. So like even on something like, let's just see, like if we sort it by actually what is making us the most profit, well, not
yeah,
this one, this is missing cost of goods sold, but it's like something like, wow, 66% profit, right? So you want to
yes,
optimize for, focusing on product opportunities that are making you, the biggest margin. So how do we
yeah,
optimize those? Obviously, units sold is also important. Don't get me wrong, right?
yeah.
But but
But
yeah, go ahead.
I can see why this is so important when you're like if you have 10 listings, it's not so hard. But when you have thousands or hundreds of listings, now you don't have time to go and try and look at each one. But having this can
Yeah.
just like sort it and filter it and tell you like these are the ones and this is and I like that I know Etsy has so many like fees and other things, so I
Yeah.
think that's why you started the profit tree in the first place
Yes.
because to kind of figure out like what really is the profit because I don't know. I know I get sales. I know Printify is paying me and Etsy's paying me, but I don't know how much they're taking out. So
Correct. And
yeah.
so with print on demand, you can just integrate if you have Printify or
Oh, nice.
Printful.
Yes.
So you don't have to actually like input anything manually. If you have a handmade shop, yeah, you would input your product. It's basically called cost of goods sold. So
Okay.
your product cost. So you could
Wow.
come in here and sort it by your product type, when it's sold, and basically what this COGS management tab is showing you is all the products that have made sales. So that means that you need to add your product cost in there. But like, yeah, like if you have Printify or Printful, you just do it automatically. But like, this is a test account, so it doesn't. So, and we'll tell you when you have a COG. So it says only one product with missing COGS for this period, go fix it.
Oh,
So basically,
nice.
like it's saying this needs a product cost. So, you come in here and add the product cost basically. So then
That's cool.
it would start tracking it.
That's really
Um,
neat.
yeah. So all of the things, like we're really just trying to be like the all-in-one solution for you to start,
Yeah.
scale, track, get ideation, just like all of your needs basically.
Yeah. So whether you're just starting out on Etsy, there's something for you. If you're like midway or have lots of products, and there's also the things on there to help you and the
Yeah.
whole journey, right? From
Yeah.
start to
Exactly.
finish. Yeah, I love it.
The whole journey. And this is my favorite. Like I'm
Oh,
biased
good. Yeah,
because
tell us.
I'm obsessed with like numbers and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
right, like okay, wow, we really messed up this month. 18%. What happened here? Why did this drop so much? Okay, well, it dropped so much because we let our ad costs go too high. That
Uh,
means that we need to go fix our ad costs, right? And so
yes.
it's like the control panel of your business so that you know where you're failing or
And what to
what's going
fix.
wrong. So yeah,
That
really go
that
ahead.
made me think of another question. So Q4 is where everybody like loves, at least on the print on demand side, because we get so many sales. What's one thing that you use or we could use Profit Tree for to help us with like Q4 sales or making sure that we get, you know, have a better Q4 basically.
Yeah, I mean, I would start in the product finder.
Okay.
So like whatever, yeah, if it's like holiday specific and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
going back to almost how we showed you, right? So like
Okay, with
what
the
are
Christmas thing that we
yeah,
showed.
I guess so like one thing that like yeah, so like say we want, let's go Christmas sure. It's a little bit early, but you can
Yeah.
start seeing the uptick now, right? So like the
Yeah.
uptick is already happening. So I would shoot for those young listings. So the listings with the young, the listing age is young, maybe less
Yeah,
than
yeah, with the filters.
right, and see where sort it by the best filter or the best seller badge, right?
Okay.
Something like this. So like if we come in here, let's do filter. We're gonna go to listing age
This is so
max,
cool. Yeah.
and then we can do bestseller badge. Let's just see, right? So
Yeah.
if it's less than 8 months old and already has a bestseller badge, right? That's a really good, indicator that that's working out for the holiday, right?
Yeah.
And this is only going to get smarter over time, right? Over time, we'll be able to filter out trademark products, inactive products, and stuff like that. All of that is like very much in our pipeline. And so like if there is an even trademark, if there's some like Mickey Minnie House Mini here,
Yeah, stay
but
away from those.
yeah, stay away from those. On Etsy, Etsy is getting better. Even Etsy shows the trademark ones, but
Oh, good.
they're getting better. I think Etsy themselves are getting better at it. So like here's one, right? 3 months old, right?
Yeah.
Um, really good indicator,
Oh,
right?
nice.
Cinnamon
Yeah, I've seen this one a lot. Yeah.
yeah, bestseller badge, right?
Yeah.
It's fall vibes shirt,
Yeah.
right? Or they
Yeah.
even have Christmas, Christmas shirt, Christmas
That's
gift.
interesting. They put Christmas in the title, which is why it pulled in. It's not necessarily a Christmas, but it could make a good Christmas gift. How
Yeah.
about how about things that are like a little more evergreen? Because I know like people buy gifts, right,
Mm,
for Christmas, not necessarily Christmas theme things.
hmm
How you would do kind of the same thing, right? For this, but not put Christmas in it. You just do like a blanket
Yeah. Let's
shirts
see.
or whatever,
Yeah, shirt. Like,
or graphic
well,
shirts or something like that.
I always like recommend go broad. Like go broad with the idea first, and then as you're getting deeper into it. So say you go shirt. So let's just do
Okay. Yeah,
shirt,
yeah, yeah. Let's do this.
something broad, something super broad, and then that kind of triggers like an idea, and then we go
Yeah.
deeper into that
So you
idea.
see something from shirts, like you're scrolling down and like, and then you kind of validate, like, oh, if this one's selling, let's see if there's others that are selling in the same kind of
Hmm.
niche.
Right,
Okay,
right. So let's
that's
see.
cool.
Custom. Okay, so this is like, wait, do you want it to be Christmas or no?
No,
No, no, not necessarily. So
not
like something.
necessarily. Well, Christmas gift, but that can
Okay.
include whatever you're buying for whoever, right? So
Yeah. So I mean, like something like this, like if it's already doing good now, like it's obviously
yeah,
going to do good
right.
at
Somebody
Q.
might buy this as a gift for someone, right? This T-shirt as a gift for Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And so then like when you're analyzing it, like, okay, what are the important things to take away? Well, it looks like they have loss leader pricing. They're doing a super aggressive sale. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, like the shirt's not actually $9 or whatever. It's like you see it's like
That's interesting how they do that.
yeah. So it's like, oh, I can't compete because it's $9. Well, the shirt's not actually $9. They're just doing the least sold variation option, at
Yeah,
a
the
like
extra, extra small is $9 or something. What did they do?
yeah, the baby
The
newborn, like
baby. Oh, wow, what a
like
cool
like something no one's gonna buy, right? So
trick.
like
What a
so like
trick.
that's really important. Like stuff like that is important to like look at. Right. So loss leader pricing, um, their average rating.
Okay,
They're not giving free shipping. They're offering
I see.
personalization.
And you
Right.
can, that's one thing, if you don't do personalization, you can turn that off in the filters, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
In your
Oop,
thing, and so
yep.
that's cool.
Oops, I just went backwards by accident.
That's really
Yes.
neat. I love how this works. It's so like you can customize it to how you need it to work and everything like that.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
Even if like you need to filter out, sometimes when you're doing the search, like sometimes you need to clarify that it's a digital over like physical, right?
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
so like
That's true
exactly what I
too.
said. Like, so say you don't want to do, we want to be 6 months.
Right.
We only want to see the bestseller. We
Okay.
want no personalization. The
Right.
free ship. No, normally they don't do free shipping, but we only want it to be a physical item. So
Okay.
we don't want
So
it to mix
physical
in.
T-shirt
Mm-hmm.
that's
Like
been selling under 6 months. Wow. Okay.
yeah, because sometimes you'll get like digital products mixed in there, and
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want that. Cool. So yeah, very. So then you analyze it from this way. I wonder if
Nice.
this is let's see what we got here.
Looks like
Oh,
K. Oh, I
unavailable.
probably got taken out because it.
Yeah.
I saw it said K-pop Demon Hunters, and people were trying to jump on that trend, and it's trademarked or copyrighted,
Okay.
so
Okay.
they get taken down from Etsy. Like, oops.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So yeah, the filters are
Cool.
really fun. They're really fun to play with.
Nice. Thanks for showing everything. I like that we saw all the different reports and everything like that. So that was great.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Couple more questions before we go. Do you have any testimonials of people that have been using ProfitTree that you can share?
Yeah, definitely. So
Okay.
we've got a lot of testimonials. Basically, anyone that buys our lifetime plan get access to our community. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Let me add it to the stage. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a great one.
Yeah, so like basically we get a lot of people sharing their wins in our community, right? Like this person, sharing their first 500 sales.
Nice.
Um, you know, people on YouTube have been raving about us, like in the comment section. So far,
Nice.
loving ProfitTree. I found my first bestseller. Let me just zoom in
Nice.
here since that's pretty small.
Oh, no
Uh,
worries. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, there we go.
yeah, so we've been getting a lot of really positive feedback, especially
That's so
now that
cool.
we have the product finder and the Etsy rater,
Yes.
which it's in our first version, like for version 1 for a software tool like that, like it's pretty impressive. I think it's pretty
Yeah,
impressive, and like
it
it's
looks good
only
too.
gonna get like so much more advanced,
Hmm.
especially as like time goes on. um but yeah, definitely have got like a lot of really cool comments here. Like ProfitTree has definitely given me a peace of mind, extremely helpful. Let's
Awesome.
see.
It
But yeah,
works.
it works. It
That's
definitely works. But
really
cool.
cool. Thanks for sharing those.
Yeah.
Um, my last question is anything else that you'd like to share, and where can people find you? I guess that's two questions in one, but
That's okay. No, I just say just be on the lookout for all of our new upcoming features, competitor tracking, shop tracking, listing tracking. Yeah, and just, thanks for being on this journey with us. This has been, like I said, the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like software is not like e-commerce at all.
right. Yeah,
Nothing you do is ever enough, but it's definitely pushed me to be a better entrepreneur for sure. But yeah, they can just find me on the Ecom Hannah YouTube channel. Yeah,
yeah.
I still answer a lot of the customer service in ProfitTree, so we have like a live chat bot. So you can message me in there if you want to talk to me. I'm online all day, so
Wow.
I can't promise this
Busy.
forever, but right now I am. So, so yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for sharing all the things that I didn't share, and we can see the whole thing in ProfitTree. It looks like you put a lot of work into it, and still lots more coming. So excited about that. And yeah, the $67 lifetime deal is still available, right? So I'll put that
Yeah.
link in the description there and everything. So thanks.
Yeah.
I think this is a great interview. We got to see the whole thing, how it works, and how it can help you
Yep.
with Etsy and everything. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Juna.
You're welcome. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.